After floating high above the Nile in a hot air balloon, watching the sunrise over the west bank of Luxor, we made our way back to Earth, literally and spiritually, with a visit to one of Egypt's most iconic and mysterious places, the Valley of the Kings.
This ancient necropolis might not have the towering glamour of the Giza pyramids, but don't let the lack of pointy architecture fool you. What lies beneath the surface here is where the real treasure and drama begins.
The valley is surrounded by rugged cliffs and hills, and at the heart of it all is a distinctly pyramid shaped peak, almost as if Mother Nature herself decided to honor the pharaohs with a geological monument. It's not hard to imagine that ancient architects looked up, saw that natural pyramid, and said, "Why build another one when we've already got this beauty?"
But there were practical reasons too. The old school pyramids of the Old Kingdom, like those at Giza, were a little too flashy. You'd think being buried under a few million tons of limestone would be enough to deter grave robbers, but nope. Those pyramids may as well have had a flashing neon sign saying, "Pharaoh buried here with loads of treasure."
So the new kingdom rulers went for stealth mode. Hidden tombs dug deep into the desert hills far from the Nile and hopefully from the hands of tomb raiders. Spoiler alert, some raiders still found their way in, but the strategy did have its wins. We're looking at you, Tutankhamun, the boy king whose modest tomb somehow survived mostly intact.
To date, over 60 tombs have been discovered in the valley, although only around 10 to 15 are open to the public at any given time, depending on preservation efforts and ongoing excavations. Getting around is easy. You can hop aboard a tram that shuttles visitors from the main gate to the base of the valley, highly recommended when the sun starts flexing. Or you can walk the dusty paths if you're feeling adventurous and well hydrated.
Once inside, each tomb is unique, ranging from simple chambers to elaborate color-splashed corridors that stretch deep into the earth. We visited several of the All-Stars, and let's just say, if these tombs were hotel suites, they'd be presidential penthouses with serious afterlife upgrades.
Discovered in 1922 by British archaeologist Howard Carter, Tutankhamun's tomb, KV62, is the Valley of the King's most famous resident. Not because of the architectural grandeur, but because it was miraculously founded mostly intact. In a valley looted for centuries, this modest tomb became the archaeological equivalent of winning the lottery.
Tutankhamun, often nicknamed the Boy King, ascended the throne at around age 9 and died suddenly at about 18. His brief and relatively uneventful reign came at the tail end of a turbulent period marked by his predecessor, Akhenaten's radical religious reforms. Much of Tut's reign was spent restoring Egypt's traditional gods and temples, trying to undo the chaos left behind. Because of his early death, the tomb appears to have been hastily repurposed, possibly not even intended for him originally.
Despite its compact layout, the tomb was crammed with over 5,000 artifacts: golden chariots, jewelry, board games, statues, thrones, and of course that now iconic gold funerary mask. The discovery electrified the world and sparked a wave of Tut mania that continues to this day. Most of the treasures once displayed at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo have since moved to their new home at the Grand Egyptian Museum in Giza.
The tomb consists of just 4 main chambers. Visitors first enter the antechamber, which was packed wall to wall with household goods, chariots, and furniture, almost like a royal garage sale. Beyond it lay the burial chamber, where a massive gilded wooden shrine housed a series of nested coffins, with Tut's mummified body tucked inside the innermost one made of solid gold. To the right of the antechamber was the treasury, home to many of the tomb's most valuable items, including a life-size guardian statue and the famous canopic shrine that protected his embalmed organs. A fourth room, the annex, held more everyday items, but was so cluttered that Carter famously called it a tip, which is British slang for a messy room.
The tomb itself is small, and its walls are sparsely decorated, primarily with scenes depicting Tut's funeral and his journey into the afterlife. But what it lacks in artistic flourish, it more than makes up for it in historical importance. It's a powerful reminder that legacy isn't always about size or splendor. Sometimes it's about timing, preservation, and just the right touch of mystery.
If Tut's tomb is the compact fan favorite, Seti I's tomb, KV-17, is the full-blown Broadway production. This tomb is one of the longest and most beautifully decorated in the valley. Seti I, father of Ramses II, clearly spared no expense on his ticket to the afterlife.
And he earned it. Seti I was one of ancient Egypt's great military pharaohs, known for stabilizing the empire after a chaotic period and launching successful campaigns into Syria and Libya. He also kept the building boom going strong, commissioning impressive temples, including the Temple of Seti I at Abydos, which houses one of the most famous kings list in Egyptology.
Inside his tomb, the artwork is astonishing. Entire walls covered with intricate texts and vibrant images from the Book of the Dead and other sacred texts. It's a visual guidebook to help the pharaoh navigate the afterlife, complete with spells, passwords, and other mystical FAQs. It's also one of the earliest examples of a royal tomb with such elaborate text carved so deeply and precisely. It's like the deluxe edition of a cosmic travel manual, with every chapter illuminated.
Known for holding Egypt together during a time of serious chaos, Ramses III was a warrior pharaoh who dealt with invasions, conspiracies, and one of the earliest recorded labor strikes. No, really. His tomb, KV-11, is grand, colorful, and filled with vivid depictions from the Book of Gates and other underworld-themed epics.
The Book of Gates isn't your typical bedtime story. It's more like an ancient Egyptian escape room meets cosmic obstacle course. It describes the soul's journey through 12 gates, or hours of the night, where it must pass through guarded portals, encounter gods, and face judgment before reaching the final sunrise and eternal rebirth. Each gate comes with its own set of guardians, passwords, and symbolic challenges, sort of like divine TSA checkpoints.
The corridor alone is worth the visit. Bold, dramatic, and practically screaming, "I ruled like a boss!" Ramses III may have had a turbulent reign, but judging by this tomb, he wasn't about to go quietly into the afterlife.
Originally started by Ramses V, this tomb was taken over and dramatically expanded by his successor, Ramses VI. Because, hey, prime afterlife real estate in the Valley of the Kings doesn't come cheap. Ramses VI, a grandson of Ramses the Great, reigned during the time of declining power and economic strain, but you wouldn't know that by looking at the tomb.
KV-9 is best known for its spectacular ceiling artwork, especially the breathtaking cosmic scene of the sky goddess Nut, arched protectively over the heavens in star-studded form. It's a celestial masterpiece that turns the burial chamber into an ancient Egyptian planetarium.
The walls are covered with deeply carved and vibrantly painted scenes from the Book of Gates, Book of Caverns, and the Book of Day and Night, all detailing the sun god Ra's nightly journey through the underworld. It's a dramatic mythological travelogue, complete with gods, demons, and a sunrise finale. If you're into ancient astronomy and epic underworld sagas, this tomb is a showstopper.
Ramses IV came to the throne during a politically rocky time as the son of Ramses III, whose assassination plot he narrowly escaped. His reign lasted only about 6 years, but he didn't waste time when it came to building a worthy tomb. KV-2 is well preserved, spacious, and one of the more accessible tombs in the valley.
What sets KV-2 apart is the variety of text decorating its walls. Book of the Dead, Book of Caverns, Book of Gates, and Litany of Ra, as if Ramses IV was hedging his bets on every possible route through the afterlife. The artwork is crisp, colorful, and surprisingly well lit, making this a favorite among casual visitors and photography enthusiasts alike.
Bonus! You can usually explore it without a guide breathing down your neck or a crowd shuffling behind you. It's one of the rare tombs where you can slow down, take it all in, and feel like you have the afterlife to yourself.
Being the 13th son of Ramses II probably meant that Merenptah didn't expect to rule, but he eventually inherited the throne at an advanced age and reigned for about a decade. He faced invasions from Libyans and sea peoples and worked hard to maintain Egypt's fading glory during a time of instability.
His tomb, KV8, is long and deep, nearly rivaling his father's in scale, but slightly more understated in decoration. The corridor descends steeply, with multiple chambers adorned with scenes from the Book of the Dead, Amduat, and Book of Gates, guiding Merenptah's soul through the treacherous night hours of the underworld.
The burial chamber is especially impressive with its massive granite sarcophagus and dramatic wall reliefs depicting gods, serpents, and judgment scenes. If Ramses II's monuments were blockbuster epics, Merenptah's tomb is a solid sequel with quieter gravitas. Less flash, but still packed with spiritual punch.
At the time of our visit, KV7, the tombs of Ramses II, was closed to the public due to ongoing excavation and restoration work. Considering Ramses II was one of the most powerful and prolific pharaohs in Egyptian history, it would have been fascinating to see how his final resting place measured up to the grandeur of his reign. The Valley of the Kings is more than just a collection of tombs. It's an ancient expression of hope, legacy, and extremely detailed burial planning. The walls are painted with stories, spells, and star maps, all designed to guide the deceased through the trials of the afterlife. It's like an eternal orientation packet, complete with stunning visuals.
It's humbling to walk through the same corridors once meant for royalty, their priests, and maybe a few ambitious tomb raiders. And after seeing it all from above that morning in a hot air balloon, then descending into the hills where these pharaohs now rest, you realize Egypt isn't just history. It's a layered, living story you can walk into, preferably before it gets too hot. Bring water, bring curiosity, and maybe bring a spell or two from the Book of the Dead, just in case.